Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. Hi Varun, same here. Right, so I welcome you to BYJU'S Exam Prep and I welcome you to this last lab to NMAT. Today we are going to discuss vocabulary, right? So far we've talked about grammar, we've talked about parajumbles. Let's talk vocabulary today and why it is important, what all types of questions come. We'll discuss all of that and of course we'll practice a lot of questions, right? We'll learn a lot of new words. Hi Divya, good afternoon. Right. Before I begin, as you know that we have an All India open mock, right? So do register for it, right? The link will be shared with you in the chat box. Do register for it. I announced this in our 12 p.m. session also, so I hope you are aware of the details. And in our 12 p.m. session today also, we discussed vocabulary. So in case you want to top up this pool with that, you can watch that session. Okay. All right. So if I talk about the exam pattern, you know that you have to solve 36 questions in language skills. They call their VRC section language skills. So you have to solve them in 28 minutes. That means on an average 45 plus seconds, 46 seconds to be very precise, okay, per question. However, of course, some questions take more time, yes, and some questions take less time. So vocabulary questions can become your time-saving questions. The questions that take less time, which you can save for, let's say, your RC questions, your parajumble questions, or any other questions that you find difficult in the English section, in the language skills section. Okay, so we will see, what is our pace today, how quickly or how slowly we solve questions. We'll look at that and we'll see what all types of questions come. So for that, let me give you an analysis of the previous year paper. Now this is a tentative breakup which is based on one of the slots, because see, NMAT has different slots, right, and individual papers are also different. So the person sitting next to you may not have the exact same breakup of topics as you do, right? So based on this, okay, hi, good afternoon, Prasoon Manhat. Okay, Prasoon Manhat. Hi, Nihar. Hello, Stroke. Hi, Kamal Khan. Good afternoon, all of you. Hello, Kashish. Same here, Kashish. Hi. Hello, sweetie. Okay, so as I was telling you, that this is a tentative breakup which is based on one of the slots of last year. However, if you look at vocabulary, analogy questions are your vocabulary questions. Okay, I'll show you a lot of analogy questions. Then fill in the blanks where we had vocabulary. Now in some slots we had a mix of one blank and two blanks. In this slot, for instance, we had two blank questions, 5 questions of this type. In another slot, we had 6 analogy questions and 4 questions on these FIVs based on vocabulary. Right, so it varies from slot to slot, but as you can see, roughly 10 questions out of 28 from vocabulary. That means approximately 1/3 of the questions in language skills, they were vocabulary. So if you see, this is 12 out of 28 RC. Okay, then if you talk about your vocabulary, that is 10 out of 28. Then the remaining portion, again, this is your grammar. This is again 10 out of 28. So approximately 1/3, right? And the remaining is covered by your RCs and logic, right? Okay. Now, if I look at, okay, I'm so sorry, 10 out of 36 questions. 10 out of 36 questions. So yes, this becomes approximately 28%. Okay. So approximately 30%, and this remaining will be your 40% will be from RCs and parajumbles. Right. Sorry, I just took the minutes to be the questions. Right. Okay. So good to see you too, sweetie. Good afternoon, Shiv. I hope all of you are doing well and all of you are preparing consistently. Very, very important, right? So in this slot, as I just showed you, we had 5 analogy, 5 FIV. In some slots, 6 analogy, 4 FIV. In some slots, 6 FIVs, 4 analogy. So those sorts of variations keep happening. Then some other slots had questions on synonym and antonyms as well, right? So we will be practicing synonym antonym questions also along with analogy and FIV. All right. So let's practice these question types. Okay. So first analogy, read the instructions very carefully. Read the directions. Each of the following questions has a pair of capitalized words followed by 5 pairs, because NMAT has 5 options, followed by 5 pairs of words. Choose the pair of words that best expresses the relationship similar to that expressed in the capitalized pair. The relationship similar to that, right? So let's see our first question. It is a very easy question indeed. So anterior is to posterior. Which is the most similar relationship here? Answer quickly. Let's see who answers the fastest here. I'm timing you. Varun says C. All right. Others? See, this is a 20-30 second question. In fact, it's a 20-second question, not even more than that. Nihar says D. Remember, you cannot skip questions in NMAT. You do have to mark something or the other. Others? Ram says A. So by this time, I expected all of you to answer, to have answered actually. Say, okay, A, B, C, B, E. All right, I've got every option out there. Every option out there. Let's see what is the answer. See, anterior is the front part of something. Anterior. Posterior is the rear or the back part of something. Right? Posterior is back. Anterior is front. So, while see, you must have thought, okay, these are antonyms, so probably I have to search for an antonymous relationship. But if you look at the options, in versus out, in is to out, top is to bottom, head is to tail, these are all antonymous. So we are not just looking at the antonyms, we are looking at the closest relationship with the question pair. And the closest relationship is D. Front is to back, front is to rear. Okay. So good. Varun, Nehar, both of you are correct. Good, Maitri. You are correct. Right? D, Delhi is the answer here. Otherwise, all of these are antonymous: in, out, head, tail, top, bottom. Okay. So the closest one which matches the meaning also is D, Delhi. So be careful in your analogy questions. E could be eliminated easily. And yes, D is the answer here. Right? Let's come to the next question. Dulcet is to raucous. Right? Let me see what you say. Dulcet is to raucous. We've done the word raucous in today's session itself at 12 p.m. We did it. Let's see who answers the fastest. Okay. Varun says B. All of you should have answered by now. All of you. Quickly, tell me the answer. Ram says D. All right. Others? So B, D. Good afternoon, Manju. D again. Okay, C. All right. So Nihar says C. Nihar, why C? What are the meanings of these words? We need to know that, right? So here, as you can see, while the previous question did not have any difficult words as such, this question is heavily based on vocabulary. In case you do not know the meanings of dulcet, raucous, you will face some challenge in answering this question, right? So for instance, if I know the meaning of raucous, raucous laughter. The criminals had a raucous laughter. Harsh laughter is raucous laughter, right? We did words such as cacophonous. Cacophonous also means harsh, right? Then we did another word, obstreperous, which means noisy and harsh, noisy, chaotic and harsh, right? Noisy and chaotic. So these are the words that we covered at 12th today. Now, raucous is harsh, all right. Dulcet. Now here, see, crazy is to insane, these are synonyms. This is a synonym pair. When I say sweet is to song, okay, this is giving me the quality of a song. The quality of a song. But here both of these appear to be qualities. Raucous means harsh, even dulcet is a quality, right? It is not that raucous is a noun and dulcet is giving the quality of that noun. So one can be eliminated, right? Okay, beyond this, you do need to know the meaning of dulcet in order to be able to solve this question, because here through grouping and elimination, you will probably not be able to solve it, right? One more way in which you can solve it is if you know the meaning of effervescent and exuberant. If you know their meanings, you again realize that they are also synonyms. Okay, somebody who has an effervescent personality is a very bubbly person, full of joy, enthusiasm, full of life. So is the same is the meaning of exuberant, right? So if you could relate effervescent to bubbly, I always related to the science experiments in school. Effervescence, we used to test the effervescence of liquids, right? So whether they bubbled up or not. So if you could relate that both of these are synonym pairs, that means probably. Now this we are playing on probability here. If we do not know the meaning of dulcet, probably neither of them is the answer. So now we have narrowed down to two options. But after this, you need to know the meaning of dulcet. This is a relatively tricky question. So in the exam for such questions, if let's say you've been able to narrow down to two options like this, and you just cannot go beyond this, then mark one or the other, right? Depending on which one do you feel is more related. So if you ask me, I feel dulcet is also a quality. Both of these appear to be quality, so I would have marked C. Because right now we are just making guesses. Yes. So based on that, I would have marked C and I would have proceeded. So now let's see what is the meaning. Yes, what is the meaning? Dulcet means sweet sounding, melodious, mellifluous. That is a synonym, right? So sweet sounding, harsh sounding, opposites. I am looking for antonyms here. A, E, B, all go out of the window. Theory and practical are not antonyms. They are two methods of instruction that complement each other. In your school, you had both theoretical classes as well as practical sessions. So they are complementary. They are not antonymous. The answer is indeed C. Palliative is to exacerbating. Okay, what are the meanings of these words? Palliative is to exacerbating. Something that is palliative in nature. If, let's say, you've heard this term palliative care. Okay, palliative care, in case you've heard this. So, patients who are suffering from terminal diseases, they are sometimes given palliative care. Their diseases are incurable, right? They can't be cured. So, palliative is just meant to soothe. It is just meant to soothe. Palliative means soothing. That means we are just trying to reduce their pain, to make their journey less painful. Right? So palliative means soothing. Exacerbating is something that aggravates the pain or aggravates a situation, worsens a situation. So this means aggravating or worsening. Aggravating or worsening. Okay? Palliative can also be used as a noun. It is not just an adjective. It can also be used as a noun. Painkillers are called palliatives also. Painkillers are called palliatives. So from today, stop using the word painkiller, call them palliatives. Okay? This is how you incorporate a vocabulary word into your life. Alright. So Varsha is asking, do we get philosophy passages in NMAT and SNAP? See, we don't get, from what I have seen, okay, based on my experience, I haven't seen philosophy passages of a very, very high level as far as NMAT and SNAP are concerned. However, I cannot say that, they cannot come in the exam. So what if this year NMAT decides to put a philosophy passage in the exam? And having a philosophy passage does not mean it is going to be difficult. That at the end of the day depends on the questions that you get. Okay, so you may get philosophy passages in NMAT and SNAP both, but rest assured that they will be at best of a moderate level. They will not be extremely difficult. And in case they, by that off chance that they are difficult, then you know how to navigate them. So just like I taught you how to navigate vocabulary for difficult RCs in NMAT, right? You can be selective, right? So if the question in front of you appears to be a highly inferential question and it was a very difficult passage, you've just skimmed through it, then just mark anything randomly, proceed to another question, maybe that is more direct, right? Okay. Palliative, ameliorate. Ameliorate is to uplift. Ameliorate is to uplift. You are right. It also means to basically make something less, make a situation less bad, less painful. So a palliative can ameliorate your pain. Yes, that way I can use it. A palliative can ameliorate your pain. That way I can use it. Yes. All right. Coming to, see, this genre-wise analysis, this you will get from the official guide, because NMAT previous year papers, they're not available in official domain, in the open domain, right? So they are available only in the official guide. So once you analyze it, once you see it, moreover, this genre-wise analysis is relevant only for the recent NMAT papers, because it's only in the last 2 years that NMAT has become adaptive. Before that, it was not adaptive, right? So and before that there used to be a lot more questions, so the RCs tended to be relatively even, they tended to be easier because you had to solve a lot more questions. So which all genres, what all types of questions, it is dependent on a lot of factors and it's not available in the public domain, right? Okay. For NM Mumbai it is 20 lakhs, Muskan, for NM Mumbai. Okay. Now question 3. Again, an analogy question. Malapropism. This is how it is pronounced. Malapropism is to words. Then, what should be the answer? Let's see what you say. NMAT attempt. Just a second for a NMAT. NMIMS is considering the first attempt only as per their admission brochure. They are considering the first attempt only. Okay. All the NM colleges. All right. So I have not done an MBA. I have done my BCom honors from SRCC and then an MCom from Delhi School of Economics. Okay. Let me know what you feel about 3 times of essence when it comes to NMAT. All right. Muskan, you do have a good pool of 1,000 words in the NMAT official guide. So just make use of that. You have previous year papers also there. So from the previous year papers, you learn the question types as well. So make use of that resource. Okay. Varun says B. Others. What is ellipsis? Those 3 dots that we put in our WhatsApp chat messages, people sprinkle it like anything. Yes, those 3 dots. Ellipsis means that you have something to say further, but you're not saying it, right? You're leaving something unsaid. That is ellipsis. So you put it after a sentence, at the end of a sentence, Malapropism. Okay, malapropism is actually a basically using some other word, some similar word instead of the word that you actually meant to use, and usually it produces a very humorous effect. For instance, if I say, my doctor has given me a subscription. Instead of saying prescription, I say my doctor has given me a subscription. So that is a malapropism. Okay, using subscription instead of prescription. If I say, his intelligence, is the pinnacle, of it is the peak of, or his problem solving skills, let's put it like this, his problem solving skills are the pinnacle of human intelligence. Okay, I'm calling him so intelligent. Okay, so his problem solving skills they represent the peak of human intelligence, right? So instead of saying pinnacle, if I say pineapple, that is malapropism. His problem solving skills are the pinnacle of human intelligence. Instead of that, let's say I say his problem solving skills are the pineapple of human intelligence. So that is malapropism. Politicians are famous for uttering malapropisms in their speeches, right? So politicians are famous for that, saying pineapple instead of pinnacle, saying subscription instead of prescription. Now, we have to look for a similar relationship, something that represents a goof up related to, let's say, time, religion, etc. Ellipsis is not a goof up, not a mistake after a sentence, so eliminated. Catechism refers to a set of rules that are meant for religious instruction. A set of, sometimes the way they teach Bible is that they present it in the form of question and answers, that somebody asked a question and then answered. For instance, the Bhagavad Gita, that is nothing but a catechism where Arjun asks questions, then Lord Krishna answers. So this method of instruction, usually religious instruction, is called a catechism. So even this does not represent any sort of mistake or goof up. So even this is not the answer. Now, out of these three, what is cataclysm? Cataclysm? Yes. So again, this is a vocabulary intensive question, right? I thought to bring some vocabulary intensive questions for you to give you an idea of how analogy questions incorporate vocabulary words. Cataclysm refers to originally it was used just for a flood originally. Now it is used for any catastrophe out there. Any catastrophe, any disaster, natural disaster, etc. out there. Right? So cataclysm is to religion to related hai nahi. So that's why it is eliminated. Now look at this word. Zinjanthropism is to apes. Zinjanthropus is actually a species of primates. It's a species of primates. Primates are your apes and those organisms that are close to mammals. Okay, that have the characteristics of mammals. So ये भी आंसर नहीं है, कोई goof up नहीं है इसमें भी. Answer is anachronism is to time. Okay, so this was a difficult one. So as I've just told you how to navigate difficult questions, in such questions, try elimination, try grouping. If you're able to narrow down to one option, nothing like it. If not, then out of the ones that you're left with, just mark something randomly and proceed, right? Okay, so anachronism means attributing something to a period to which it does not belong. So for instance, if I attribute Queen Victoria to present, okay, so if I say Queen Victoria was passing by that that particular place, right, was passing by that lane. So this is an anachronism because Queen Victoria does not belong to the present times, right? Or if I say, oh, I just saw Kishore Kumar yesterday, that is an anachronism that I've committed. Probably I meant somebody else, right? So ana, not chron, time, not belonging to the time to which it is attributed. ठीक है? So A is the answer here. So some questions of analogy can be vocabulary intensive. Now, this is a unique type of analogy question. You may get this and that's why we are covering it. Choose the pair of words that does not express a similar relationship. I have capitalized this also for you. It does not express a similar relationship. Now, the previous ones we were looking for similar. यहाँ पर dissimilar. Okay, that's the difference. So you may get such questions in the exam and that is why we are doing this. Yes. Tell me, which is the farthest? Cosmic is to universe. Quickly, I am timing you. Be enthusiastic. I want you to be exuberant in your responses. Let's see what you say. Okay. Last few seconds. Okay, I've got A and C so far. By now, all of you should have answered. Okay, A versus C. So I have to see what will be the answer. Now see, cosmic means related to the universe. Cosmic is simply related to the universe. So this was not a very difficult vocabulary relationship here. Terrestrial means related to the earth. So this will not be our answer. Lunar means related to the moon. This will not be our answer. Jocular means something in the nature of a joke. Okay, something again related to a joke in that sense. If I say he had a jocular tone, meaning he had a joke like tone. Okay. Annular actually means ring shaped. Okay, annular means in the shape of a ring. So ring shaped will be of course related to a ring. The answer is connubial is to you. Connubial means conjugal. Conjugal is a word that we covered in a previous session. It means related to marriage. Related to marriage. So youth say related nahi hai. It is related to marriage, right? Had marriage been written here, then it would be related. But this here youth has been written, so it's an unrelated pair. C is our answer. Very good. Those of you who said C, Varun, Ram, Ayushi, absolutely correct. Okay. So we want, I want you to be fast when answering these questions. Speed is of essence. Tell me. Okay. All right. So I've got one A, one C perhaps, others. Okay, last few seconds. E also, okay. B. So A, B, E. This is what I've got. Let's have a look. So basically, again, this was not difficult in the sense you understood the relationship very well. We are talking about phobias related to the second word. So a phobia or a fear of foreigners is called xenophobia. Now this is such terms you should know. Okay, this is not difficult vocabulary. This is high frequency vocabulary. Claustrophobia, ये easy question था. What is claustrophobia? Fear of heights? No, fear of heights is acrophobia. Okay, acrophobia. Fear of closed spaces. Fear of closed spaces is claustrophobia. So this is not related. This is not related, right? This does not match. So claustrophobia is to heights is incorrect. Claustrophobia means fear of closed spaces. Clauster means closed, clustered. Okay. Bibliophobia is fear of books. So wherever you have this word bibli, that means books. Bibliophile, a lover of books. Bibliography, a list of books that you refer to for your research. Right? Hemo, related to blood. Hemoglobin. Right? Hematology. Hemo is related to blood. So hemophobia is fear of blood. Anglo, wherever you have Anglo, that is related to Britishers. Right? So Anglophobia, fear of Britishers, fear of Englishmen. Eliminated, eliminated, eliminated. Agoraphobia is again fear of open spaces. Basically, you don't like to be in a market. Agora means a market. You don't like to be in open spaces which are crowded. So, even this is at least, I understand that open spaces should have been written here, but still it is related. Claustrophobia is not related to heights. That's why A is the answer. Right? All right. Let's have a look at the last analogy question for the day. After that, we'll go to fill in the blanks. Yes. What do you say? So I understand your objection here that why just men? Why have we written English men? But this is again Our society being a traditionally patriarchal society, earlier we used to say mankind, right, to refer to the entire humankind, okay, businessmen and not business persons. So I agree, this is not a gender neutral word. That sort of consciousness has come today. It wasn't there earlier, so that's why a traditional word, so to say, Englishman and patriarchal and that. That's why I said Britishers. The English. In that case, it will be the English. Because if you just say English, it could just be the subject, no? It could just be the subject English. So the English, when you say the English, that means you're referring to the people who are English. Okay. Germane is to pertinent. Which is the farthest here? Tell me. Just two responses. Yes. We have to give the relationship that is the farthest from this relationship. That is the most dissimilar to this relationship. Right? So, absolutely correct. Ram, Varun, Maitri, all of you are correct. D is the answer. So, germane means something that is pertinent. Okay, so if I say, your point is not germane to our discussion, that means it is not relevant to our discussion, it is not pertinent to our discussion. So, they are synonyms. And A, B, C, E, they are also all synonym pairs. Excited is to serene. Serene means calm, composed. Okay, so excited is to serene, they are antonym pairs, and that's why B. Quick is to urgent, I agree that they are not exact synonyms, but still they are related, they are not antonymous. Associate, affiliate, synonymous. Dull is to sluggish, when somebody is sluggish, they are lazy, they are feeling dull that way. Apt and appropriate, again synonym pairs. Right? So these were some analogy questions, and I hope this will help you in attempting them, but from your end also you have to practice them, and your non-CAT previous year papers can be a good source for analogy questions. Okay, non-CAT previous year papers, even early CAT papers too, they also have analogy questions. Okay, all right, let's come to fill in the blanks. Here's your first question with one blank. Okay, so this is the question. Tell me what the answer is. So we have to choose the options according to the given words. Okay, so yes, this is contextual vocabulary, first of all. So of course, uh, if you're talking about fill in the blanks, in analogy also, yes, of course, you have to look at the word pair and then answer. Here also you have to read this part very, very carefully, the part before and after the blank, because this is contextual vocabulary. The context matters, right? So Nihar says C, others, Vaibhav says B, alright. Okay. C, B, alright. That's it. 4 responses. Okay, Varun says B. Okay, the recent disturbance. So this question belongs to this category of phrasal verbs. So see, your NMAT official website has stated that they will ask fill in the blanks. Now they haven't specified what they will ask in this fill in the blanks. So vocabulary based fill in the blanks can be about single vocabulary words also. They can be about these phrases also called phrasal verbs. They can also be about idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases. That is why we have planned a session for you at 12 p.m. over the YT channel, where we will discuss idioms and phrases, analogy, all these question types. Okay, again, most commonly asked vocabulary words. That's the name of the session. I think it's tomorrow itself. Yes, it is tomorrow itself at 12 p.m. So we can actually talk about idioms and phrases then. Now, what are phrasal verbs? A verb plus a preposition or an adverb, carrying a very specific meaning. Carrying a very specific meaning. Pass through simply means that you're using a particular region as a passage. So I passed through Punjab on my way to Himachal Pradesh, right? So pass through simply means that you are using a place as a passage. This does not require that. The recent disturbances in the country, basically I want to say they will be over. They will be over and peace will be restored, right? They will end. So I need to look for a phrasal verb that means to be over, to end, and that is be. Blow over. Blow over is specifically used for troubles, for disturbances. When we say, okay, let this crisis blow over and then we can talk, right? Then we'll discuss other things. So blow over is to wait for a trouble, a difficulty to subside. Okay, so that is blow over, and here that is the best fit. Blow past. When you blow past something, you either go past it very quickly. So for instance, if I say a biker blew past us very quickly, a biker just blew past us, right? Or it means to overshoot. For instance, let's say your fitness coach gave you a calorie target and you over it that particular day. So you have now blown past your calorie limit, right? You have overshot it. So one is to go through very quickly, to go by very quickly, and the other is to overshoot. Does not fit in my current context. Eliminated. Then come pass. Actually, the expression is come to pass. There's nothing like come pass, right? If I say something has come to pass, that means something has happened. Something has occurred. A crisis has come to pass. That means a crisis has happened. तो अब ये भी नहीं fit हो रहा. Occur, happen. Stick around. I think everybody knows. I wanted her to go home, but she just stuck around with me and kept watching that movie. Right? That means when you choose to stay put. Okay. So B is the answer here. That's the best fit. Blow over. Phrasal verbs are an important part of vocabulary. Okay. All right. Quite a few B's I got later on. Good. Let's have a look at a two blank question. Two blanks. Let me see what you say. All right. Yes, tomorrow we have that session. Must know words for CAT, SNAP and other MBA exams. Let's see what you say. So, I've got B, A, all right. What else? D, okay. What else? What else? So this is not a very difficult question. Why? You can eliminate three options right away. Three options can be eliminated right away. Very good. Those who are saying D, Delhi, that is the answer. This legal provision leads to a rip-roaring business for dash, who care neither for the dash nor for the trees. So basically, for which group of people do we need to care? In the previous sentences, we are saying the poor people cannot deal with the government. Okay, so poor people cannot deal with the government. That's why this legal provision of taking prior permission from the government, it actually leads to a rip-roaring business for these middlemen, for these illegal business persons, okay, illegal salesmen who care neither for the poor nor for the trees, right? So based on the second blank itself, we could have eliminated A, C and E, B and D are left. Now, rip-roaring business for the government? No. We are not talking about the government. Also, we are saying who care. For the government, I would have used which cares, not who care. Eliminated. Touts is the word for these illegal salespeople. Okay. You earlier, tout was used for those people who used to sell tickets in black. They would buy tickets at the price. I mean, they would hold tickets and then they would sell it to you at a higher price. They were touts. So yes, through elimination, this could be done very, very easily. And this is the kind of question that you give a sincere shot in the exam. Okay. All right. Another question here. Again, a two blank question. So here is the registration link for your All India Open Mock. I was telling you that it will appear in your chat box. And here it is. Interesting question, this one. All right. Let's see what your responses are. A is what I've got. A unanimous A so far. Okay, okay. Any other responses? Or should I begin discussing this? In these bleak and depressing times of dash prices, of course, the bleak and depressing times would usher in when the prices are rising. Yes. So spiraling, improving, escalating, ascending. I have to decide between these. See, improving is a positive word. E is eliminated right away. Also, ascending, do we use it with prices? Ascending we use with ascending order, descending order. To ascend is to climb. So, ascending I haven't seen being used with prices, climbing prices. Eliminated. Now, non-performing governments and dash crime rates. So all bad things are happening. Non-performing governments and dash crime rates. So I cannot use the word booming. Booming is a positive word, right? So I cannot say booming crime rates, flourishing crime rates. That does not make sense with something like crime rates. So I have to choose between A and C essentially. And that is what you have also done. So, see, I understand that I can use escalating here. I can use escalating here. But if you look at it, these are bleak and depressing times. Escalating means rising rapidly. Same is the case with spiraling, rising rapidly. So with crime rates also, I need to use a word of greater urgency, rising rapidly. Soaring is that word. Increasing just means increase हो रहा है. ये बहुत rapidly increase हो रहा है. Right? That's the difference between A and C. It's just a matter of degree. So spiraling is anyway. So for instance, when I attempted this question, I had read the word spiraling a lot more with prices as compared to escalating. So while in vocabulary terms escalating also fits, this is what I had encountered in a lot of newspapers. Soaring, this fitted the best with it because increasing में तो normal increase भी हो सकता है. Whereas हम सब बिल्कुल ही depressing times हैं, सब कुछ rapidly बढ़ रहा है, right? So soaring is a better word choice as compared to increasing. C is the answer. So in contextual vocabulary, our tone of the words, the connotations of the words, they matter a lot, right? You have to understand the surrounding words well. ठीक है? Clear सबको बिल्कुल? चलें आगे? All right. This is your last fill in the blank question. Let me see what you say. I want 100% participation this time. After this, we'll see a couple of synonym antonym questions. I covered quite a few synonyms with you in the morning as well, at 12 as well, I mean. So you can watch that. And let's see what you say for 11th. So a lot of vocabulary lows as we near the weekend. I hope you will revise all of these words. Very, very important. So Nihar says C. Varun says C. Maitri also says C. Okay, everybody is saying C. All right, all right. Okay. So C. Just a second. I mean C. The Darwin who dashed is most remarkable for the way in which he dashed the attributes of the world-class thinker and head of the household. First of all, this option needs to be eliminated right away. This is past tense, appeared, and this is the present tense, combines. So there is an inconsistency right there, right? Then the Darwin who arises, uh, a question can arise, all right, a situation can arise, but a person arising, that's not how we use this word, right? It feels like as if he's rising from the dead. Okay. Also, you don't add attributes. Attributes are qualities. You can combine qualities, right? You can't even figure qualities. So you can just combine them, and subtracts does not fit here. He combines the attributes. So excellent, all of you who said C. C is the answer here, right? Appeared combines tense inconsistency. Add, subtracts, figures, they cannot be used with attributes. Arises again with people. It's he arose would mean he literally rose from his chair, right? So C is the answer. The Darwin who emerges. All right. C. Any queries so far, you can ask me. Otherwise, we begin with synonym antonyms. Just a couple of questions on synonym antonyms, as these are it's a very common question type. You've done this for so many exams. Yes. So what is the synonym for untenable? Untenable. This sort of an argument will be untenable in the court. I have given you the context also now. This sort of an argument will be untenable in the court. Okay, A, C, all right. B, okay. All right. A, C, B. Two ways I've got. Untenable, you had to give me the synonym. If I say it is untenable in the court, that means it is something that you will not be able to defend in the court. So it is indefensible actually. Not defendable, it is indefensible. It is so weak, it is so implausible that the court will not even admit it. So defendable, eliminated. Feasible, no, it is not feasible in a way, right? Vindicated. When we say he or she stands vindicated, what does that mean? If we vindicate someone, yes, what do we do? Let's say a proof, you were an accused in a case, okay, and a proof has been submitted that shows your innocence, that proves your innocence. So now you are clear of all that blame, clear of all that all those charges. So you stand vindicated. So vindicate means to clear someone of blame, charges, allegations, etc. Right? So vindicated is not related to untenable. Vindicated means be clear of suspicion or blame. Corroborated, when you can verify something, when something has been verified, okay, when something has been confirmed by another witness, we can say it has been corroborated. All are legal terms, okay. Corroborate. Untenable is also used a lot in the court. Vindicated, right. Implausible can be used in logic, right. If you give me an argument that I don't find very logical, I say, this is implausible, right. Okay, so based on this, we know that our answer is B, Bangalore, and untenable is a high frequency word indeed. So you should know its meaning. Okay, you should watch some legal dramas and then you will come across this word. Okay, Furtive. Now see the question. Read the question carefully. Not a synonym of furtive. Not a synonym. And in case you have been enjoying the session and you've been learning new things, then yes, please go and press the like button as our team is telling you to. Not a synonym of furtive. She threw furtive glances at him. She threw furtive glances at him. Verb says B. This is a good question. When you glance at someone furtively, will it be a very clear glance? No, it's a very sneaky glance. Okay, it's something that's done in secret, very secretive, very stealthy glance, a very sly glance. It can also be considered as shady. Okay, it can be considered suspicious and shady also. Foursquare is when you look at, foursquare means firmly and resolutely. So you can use it in multiple fields. So for instance, if I say she stood foursquare behind him, that means she stood firmly and resolutely behind him. The building stands foursquare on that area. So in that area, that means that it stands very firm and solid. So foursquare is not the synonym. Others are synonyms of furtive. So you can get a not a synonym question as well, right? And last question, not an antonym. Yes, not an antonym. Tell me, which one is not an antonym? Surreptitious, clandestine, absolutely correct. These are all synonyms. Okay, a clandestine glance, a surreptitious glance, all are synonyms of furtive. Not an antonym of consonance. Tell me, which one is not an antonym? I don't know why consonants. The word consonants always reminds me of that song Mile Sur Mera Tumhara To Sur Bane Hamara, in case you've heard it. So, E is the answer. Absolutely correct. Good, good, good. Coherence. Okay. So, dissonance. So, consonance is when everything is in harmony. Okay. Consonants in English, right? We have consonants, we have vowels. So, consonance is associated with sound. Okay. So, when you literally, when everything is in harmony in terms of sounds, but it is used metaphorically also. So if let's say your and my opinions, your and my actions, they match, then our actions are in consonance, our opinions are in consonance. So it's used metaphorically also. Dissonance is the opposite. Dissonance, discord, that is the opposite. So these two are clear antonyms. Asymmetry also shows a sort of a discord only, no? So that's why this is also in the nature of an antonym of consonance. Deviance, again, deviating from the standard, deviating from the path given to you, prescribed to you, that is deviance. So अब उसमें भी क्या हो रहा है कि harmony तो नहीं है, agreement तो नहीं है, right? But coherence, when things are coherent, that means you are able to understand them very clearly. You are on the same page with another person. So coherence is not an antonym, definitely. That's why E is our answer, right? So I hope you will remember the meanings of all these words that we have learned today. Some of these are interesting, some of these are new, right? Do revise them over the weekend. Do attend a lot more sessions coming your way in the last lap to NMAT, and do take the All India Open mock. Once NMAT is over, on the we have a first impression session, right, on the 12th of October, and we'll give you a detailed analysis there, not just some superficial discussion. And these are our social media platforms where you can follow us, and this is our Telegram channel that you can join. Okay. Anything that you wish to ask? So keep practicing vocabulary questions from previous year papers. Keep learning new words. Keep revising them. Anything that you wish to ask? All right then. Bye-bye. I'll see you in the next session. Yes, tomorrow at 12, I'll see you again. Bye.